When I was in 6th grade, me and two of my other friends, who we'll call Skylar and Liz, went over to my friend's house. We were just chilling watching TV when her mom came in and told us she was going to the grocery store for like an hour or so. While we were watching TV, this one scene came on and it was these girls kissing, and Liz looks at me and asks if I wanna do that, and me being the gay bitch I am, I said why not, so we started making out while Skylar watched, and then Skylar says, "Guys, I think I'm lesbian." So Liz moves over and starts kissing her neck and leaving high keys and making her moan and all, and that turns me on. We end up doing the dirty, and surprisingly Skylar's mom didn't find out, and now I'm a freshman in high school and all three of us are in a poly relationship from an.
About 3 weeks ago I went to my best friend's house for a sleepover. We are both girls and she has her older sister. Anyways, her sister never really talked to us because she was really popular, and to be honest, I was a little bit scared of her. We went to my friend's room and started watching a movie. My friend fell asleep and I drank so much coke, so I got up to go to the toilet. I walked into the bathroom and I accidentally saw her sister's shower reflection of her grinning cat in Peach in the mirror. She was so fucking fit when I tell you I never wanted to have a body more. I didn't think she had heard or seen me, so I waited patiently outside for her to come out because I swear my bladder was about to burst. She came out in her towel and said, "Like what you see," and walked past me into her bedroom. She beckoned me into her room and I thought she wanted to walked past me into her bedroom. She beckoned me into her room and I thought she wanted to tell me something, so I followed her in. She dropped her towel and pulled me in about the space of 3 seconds, and we started making out. We had been making out for around 3 minutes before my best friend came in. She was so surprised. Turns out my best friend had had a huge lesbian crush on me for ages. LMIO, what the fuck. Now I am a lesbian and I am dating my best friend, but to be honest I still like her sister.
One day me and my friend were just hanging out and all of a sudden she tells me that she likes me and that she's liked me for years, and I told her I didn't feel the same, but she started kissing me and I had a boyfriend, who is still my boyfriend to this day. Then she tried to undress me and I kicked her out of my house and told my mom. Needless to say, we never spoke again. From Anonymous.
One day I was in the car with my mom and I wanted to listen to music, so I decided to listen to WAP. I accidentally connected it to my mom's car instead of my AirPods. Like, am I dumb? I quickly turned it off and she asked me what that song was. Like, lady, mind your own business. Anyway, I told her it's a song called WAP. Then she asked me what WAP means. I hesitated and told her it meant wrapping a present. She said okay. I didn't think much of it. But then an hour later when we got home, she uploaded a video on Facebook of her wrapping a present with the caption, "I love whopping, hashtag whopping, hashtag WAP, hashtag whopping is fun." I got scared because all my cousins were commenting laughing emojis and other stuff, so she would know something is suspicious. She then asked why she was getting all these weird comments. I told her it's nothing. But then her post blew up and Cardi B commented, "Ayo, I bet my WAP is better, show me yours." Then my mom replied saying, "OMG, I love your song, but I already showed you my WAP in the video." Then Cardi B replied back saying, "That's a present, not a WAP." Now my mom was really confused, so she asked me what was going on. I had no choice but to tell her the actual meaning of WAP. When she found out, she got so mad and she made me go to church, say 100 prayers, and she put holy water all over me. And now she's making me join the Kids Bop group.
Story time. So when I was in 8th grade, a girl walked up to me and said I was cute. 8 minutes later she came back up to me and asked if I wanted to go to her house. I said sure. Then she told me she had a boyfriend, and me being the little shit that I am, I said I didn't care. We started making out in her room and her boyfriend came over. He knocked on the door and said her name. I quickly put my shirt on and started acting gay. Right when he walked in, I faced the girl and started fake crying. I said, "My boyfriend broke up with me yesterday." The girl's boyfriend came up to me and said, "It's okay bro." Then he hugged me. Long story short, I actually turned gay and started dating her boyfriend. So this one time, it was like 5 months ago, my brother wanted to go to his friend's house, and keep in mind I was H0RNY, and so when we got to his place his parents weren't home, so when we got to his house he was showering and I needed to use the restroom, but I went to the other one. So when I went back to his room, my brother was there just sitting on the bed but not being weird or anything, so my brother had to go back home to get a game, and so my brother left and he told me if I wanted to stay or if I wanted to go with him, but I said I'll stay, and my brother said if I stay then to tell his friend, let's call him Rex. So Rex came out of the shower and I thought he had clothes on, but I was wrong, so he came out of the shower naked and I could see his fine ass abs, and he only had a towel on, and so I'm guessing he didn't see me, and so the towel dropped and I seen his ding dong, and OMG it was so big, and I mean so big, and he saw me and he was still naked and he said, where is your brother? And I said he went to get a game from home, and my brother's friend stay, and my brother said if I stay then to tell his friend, let's call him Rex. So Rex came out of the shower and I thought he had clothes on, but I was wrong, so he came out of the shower naked and I could see his fine ass abs, and he only had a towel on, and so I'm guessing he didn't see me, and so the towel dropped and I seen his ding dong, and OMG it was so big, and I mean so big, and he saw me and he was still naked and he said, where is your brother? And I said he went to get a game from home, and my brother's friend said, oh, then he said, do you like it? And I'm like, what does the bitch mean? And then he said his ding dong, and I stayed quiet, and he said if we wanted to shower together, and I said sure. But I started doing the deed with him and we stopped because I didn't have any protection, but at that time I was 13 and now I'm 15, and every time we see each other we do the dirty, but I'm always having protection because I don't want a kid at the age of 15. Thank you for your submission. Growing up, my bedroom was the only one that faced the front of the house. When I was about 8 or 9, I woke up to my dad calmly but firmly telling me to get up, go in the bathroom, and shut the door. I was annoyed because I was half asleep, but I listened. Apparently I was more tired than I realized, because I fell asleep on the bathroom floor. The next morning I asked my mom what happened. She seemed oblivious and confused. I looked at my dad like she was crazy, and I asked him why he had woken me up. He denied doing it. I was becoming frustrated to the point of tears, but I ultimately let it go. Fast forward to college. I was home one break, and I decided to ask again. I had thought of that night off and on for years, and it still bothered me. This time, my dad goes. I'd thought of that night off and on for years, and it still bothered me. This time, my dad goes, "Ha, I was wondering if you even remembered that." Turns out that a lot of houses on our block were being vandalized and robbed all those years ago. Someone had broken into the garage and was inside the house. My room was partially over the garage. My dad heard it happen and quietly got me to safety. Police were called. The guy ran. He was never caught, however, and my parents didn't want a terrified kid on their hands. So for years they pretended like nothing had ever happened. It wasn't supernatural, but it was unsettling for sure. When I was 7, I had this big group of friends, and one of my friends, who we'll call Casey, was the leader of the friend group. She brought us all together and we all were closer to her than everyone else. Anyways, Casey told us about a boy in her class that told her he liked her and she didn't know what to do. Everyone in the group was giving her ideas and all the attention was on her, and myself, centered ass, wanted the attention, so I said I met this boy in the city and we started doing stuff. It was obviously a lie, but it worked because the attention was on me and they asked me a lot of questions and I felt no shame, and every time I went to that city I would come back with a hickey that I gave to myself and showed my friends and said me and the boy did stuff. This went on for a couple of months until I didn't want to talk about the lie anymore, so I told them we broke things off after he moved away from the city. 3 years later I was talking to Casey about it and came clean, and she said she knew it was a lie but everyone else thought it was real. Else thought it was real. Me and Casey are the only ones who know it was fake, but another girl in the friend group keeps on bringing it up once in a while, and I always try to dodge having a conversation about it, and since I have a bad memory I told her I can't remember that much of the boy, and she eventually stopped talking about it. From Anonymous. So something about me is that I get seizures sometimes and I'm not able to tell when they're going to happen. So one time I got one in my 4th period class as I was sitting at my desk. It ended up lasting about 5 minutes, and as I started to come out of my seizure the ambulance was already there at the school, but as I was coming out of it this one girl named Carla was laughing like it was funny. She was lucky I wasn't able to do anything at that moment, but the next day I went back to school and I beat that bitch ass at the end of the day and didn't get in trouble, and ever since then she hasn't come anywhere near me. From Anonymous. The other day I went to the bathroom to take a dump, so I went into a stall, and as I was about to go these girls came in laughing, but then they started to yell at each other talking about how one of them stole the other one's boyfriend, and the girl, who we'll call Ketchup, was all like, "Girl, what the freak, I didn't steal your boyfriend," and the other girl, who we'll call Lawn Chair, was all like, "Bitch, yes you did." Then they started punching and fighting. Then all of a sudden, all the stalls started to shake because Lawn Chair pushed Ketchup into the handicap stall and they started pushing each other and punching each other. By the way, this was all happening while I was pooping. Then one of them pushed the other so hard into the stall that the stalls fell off the ceiling and all the toilets were exposed, including the one I was pooping in, so I pulled up my pants and washed my hands and left like I didn't even see anything. I didn't tell anyone what happened because honestly I was still in shock, but it was also really funny. Then in the middle of class I got called to the office and the principal was like, "You did in the bathroom." And I was like, "What?" I was taking a crap, and he was like, "Ketchup and Lawn Chair said you knocked down the stalls," and I said, "No, it was Ketchup and Lawn Chair," and he was all like, "I don't believe you," and I just was like, "Okay." Then he told me that I was suspended, and I was like, "Did you guys look at the security cameras?" And they were like, "No, but it's 2 against 1, and even though that didn't make any sense I was just like, "Okay." Then my science teacher came in and was like, "Ketchup and Lawn Chair just told me that they knocked over the stalls," and blamed Grace. So the principal called the girls into his office and they came into the office and they got suspended. From Anonymous.